So we are discussing about tefillah. What should you pray for? Now there's a lot of things a person should pray for. Pray for this, pray for that, pray for that. But I'm sure one thing a person does not pray for this. Alright? We had one guy in our shul, he told me that he prays, besides having Emunah, but he prays for Emunah. Hashem, let me have the level of Emunah. And he told me once that when he prayed for it so hard, he needed like $80 for that time, and he didn't have it on him. And he was in a store, Target. He's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I have Emunah and Hashem. I prayed today for his Emunah to have extra. I'm not going to be worried. And all of a sudden, somebody came over and says, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, by the way, I know one time you needed this, you need that, you still need. So the truth is what I need. He said, I need $80 right now. And he said, on the spot, he gagged $80 on the spot. That's a true story, by the way. He said, I prayed for Emunah and Hashem. You have to understand, you want to build Emunah, but you have to be in situations where you can have Emunah. So Hashem will put you in that situation where you can have Emunah to build to have Emunah. You understand? A person could talk about Emunah all day long. But when do we see you have Emunah or not? When you're in a situation where you need Emunah. When you're in a situation where you need bitachon. And it could be in any aspect. A person's late for a meeting. And you're driving your car. And you're like, oh my goodness, I'm late. I don't know what you do. You're late for your flight. And all of a sudden, you're driving on the Bell Parkway. You're going fast. You get pulled over by a cop. You're like, officer, you don't understand. If I stay any longer, I'm gonna lose out on my flight. I'm supposed to go to Israel. The officer says, excuse me, you were going 82 on a 65. You're getting a ticket. Wait 1 second. And now that's where Emunah has to kick in. Oh my goodness, what just happened? How did I do it? I didn't know. I was driving so fast. I can't believe I was driving so fast. Now you're gonna have Emunah and Hashem or no? So there's a true story that happened. A guy in our community, he said, I'm practicing my Emunah right now. And he practiced. En od milvado. There's nobody but Hashem. En od milvado. There's nobody but Hashem. En od milvado. There's nobody but Hashem. He said it like maybe 15 times in his brain. En od milvado. En od milvado. There's nobody but Hashem. The cop is not in charge. Hashem, you're the only one in charge. All of a sudden, he gets a knock on his window. The cop comes back. It's a true story that happened in our community. I'll tell you his name. He says, you should know it's your lucky day. Take your license, take your registration. I gotta go. He says, what happened, officer? He said there was a big scandal that went on. And they were trying to actually find this criminal. And they paged the people who are around, stop whatever you're doing, and go to this place, and the criminal is there. So he says, I have to go emergency. He gave him his license registration. He went back in his car, and he went to go to that emergency. Hashem put him in a situation, in a matzav, to work on Emunah. You understand what I'm saying? That's when you pray for it. Hashem will wow, boom, boom, boom. Again, it's easy to talk. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Emunah, Baruch Hashem, Bezrat Hashem. It's great. Say it. But what happens when it comes Lamaaseh? How are you going to do when it comes Lamaaseh? Are you going to really deep down believe this is the best thing in the world? Yes or no? A couple booked a flight. They told me, husband and wife, they booked a flight. They wanted to sit next to each other on the flight. So the guy, he booked, and he was able to choose the seat. He put a seat here. And he realized as he got on the flight, there was a mistake and things like that, and they couldn't sit together. It's true. They couldn't sit together. And he's like, what do you mean? I planned it. I was supposed to sit. I don't understand. Is that the flight attendant? Sorry, it says this. A is AC and you're AD, but AC is over here. AD is that way. And whatever. The bottom line is they couldn't sit together. So I asked the guy, did you have full Emunah? This is the best thing that could ever happen. You know, you wanted to sit next to your wife. You wanted it. You did your best that you can. It didn't work out. Do you have full Emunah that that's the best thing that could ever happen to you in your life? That's when Emunah kicks in. Well, you did everything. And now you understand, if I did everything, it should work out. The answer is you have no power. You have no power. You booked a meeting with a sales representative. You're so excited. You're going into this meeting. You know for sure in advance that this is going to go through. And you're like, all of a sudden, what happened? You did all your part. Hashem saying you have no power. You have to do your shadlut. You have to do as much as you can, but you have no power. At the end of the day, it's mine. I told you, I have a relative in real estate, and he tells me stories. He tells me stories how he offered. It doesn't make sense. I'm offering the price. I'm offering more, 50,000 more, and the person that sold it. Not only 50,000 more, 50,000 less. Doesn't make sense. No, this person that wants to buy it is a tenant of ours for the last 5 years, and even if we have to lose the $100,000, we'll lose the $100,000 in order to give it to the person that we want. Does it make sense? So I told my relative of mine, it's not up to you. It's up to, at the end of the day, you part, that's it. That's why you pray for Emunah, but not only you pray for Emunah, when the situation comes into your hands, how are you going to do it? You're going to really feel good, or you're going to feel like, oh, come on, why is this happening? You understand what I'm saying or no? You understand? It's a very important point. Shidduchim. Having shidduchim. You know? A girl gets dumped, or a guy gets rejected for whatever reason, and all of a sudden they can't get over it for 3 months. I know it's hard, but that's when Emunah kicks in. This is the best thing that could ever happen to me. Wow. I had a rabbi, his name was Rabbi First. He told me that he was engaged, like almost engaged to this girl, and he loved her so much. He told me, he's around now already, he's like 80, maybe 70, 80. He says at the time, he says, I wanted to marry her so badly. At the end, she said no. And he said that I couldn't, he says it was very hard. It was very hard for me. And then found out later on that she was, like a few years later, she got sick and she passed away. So, holy cow, if I would have married her, there's that. You understand? It's a scary thing. But Emunah doesn't start after, it starts at the time where you got rejected. Oh man, I can't believe it. That's when Emunah says it's the best thing. It's like the guy who missed the flight. Okay, I missed the flight. So now you have Emunah, what? The flight is going to blow up, it's going to detour, something's going to happen. Then you realize, it landed. Oh, shit, why did I miss my flight? You know what I'm saying? Like, I missed that. Okay, the guy misses his flight, comes to the torah, it's the best thing, and he's waiting. Oh, his friend was on the flight. Oh, yeah, I got it. Oh, man. You're like, oh, something was supposed to happen with that flight. You know? Emunah has to happen. At that time, you miss your flight. This is the best thing I've ever happened to me in my life. Yes, I'm happy I missed my flight. Yes! You know, the Gemara says the guy on the boat, famous Gemara. Gemara says the guy on the boat, he was running to make the boat, and as he was running to make the Gemara says he stepped on, you know, like the dock has sometimes, you know, they have the nails sticking out sometimes. You ever happened to you? You're like, ah! Ever happened to you or not? Happened to you many times in there, right? You deserve it. I'm joking. So he's running on the dock. And the boat is right there. And he falls on the floor. It says he fell on the floor. He's bleeding. Pain like there's no tomorrow. He can't even get up yet. You know what I'm saying? The boat is about to leave. He misses the boat. Gemara says, oh my goodness, the guy's like flipping out. There's that, I missed my boat. All of a sudden, the boat sank. He's like, Baruch Hashem, I missed the boat. Baruch Hashem, I missed the boat. He's so happy that the nail hit him. Imagine, like the nail, Now he has to go get stitches and this and that. 2 weeks he can't walk on his right foot. He has to do crutches. But now all of a sudden he sees the boat sank. Oh my goodness, Baruch Hashem, I'm alive. You don't understand. He'll say the story forever. The Gemara says the story, you know. But what's the point of the Gemara? The point is not to have Emunah after you see the boat sink. Oh yeah, I need the boat sink. Oh, the flight. No, it's at the time where you don't see what's happening. How did I miss my boat? What happened? And say, Baruch Hashem, this is the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. Oh, this is great. Understand? This is Emunah. Not after. Let me see. Oh, now I understand. Emunah starts when you don't understand. You know what I just said? Emunah starts when you don't understand. When you understand everything, that's not Emunah. Oh, I understand this, I understand that, I understand this. Of course, it's a small level of Emunah. Yeah, you understand this from Hashem. Yeah, great. It's a level of Emunah. But there's something called Emunah Shelemah. Ani ma'amin be'emunah Shelemah. I have full belief. With things where like, what's going on? It doesn't make sense. And boom, 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 boom. Wow. Now, wow. I don't understand, but that's where it says emunah. There's so many stories. I had a friend of mine. He had a company that he did a fraud. He did a small fraud, but it was a federal offense. And the company that he was in, he was doing very well for the company, and that was the time where he's just gotten married with all with everything that he had to pay. Now he has a rental, he has this, he has that, he has kids, So he says, "Oh my goodness!" And then the company fired him, and he came to me, and he was just bawling, crying, crying, just bawling out, crying nonstop. He accepted upon himself that he's going to pray mincha every single day. At that time, he wasn't praying mincha every day. It was hard for him. The company, he was working hard. I don't care, I'll pray mincha. What he makes now is literally, I'm not joking when I say 10 times more than he was making when he was in that company. So at the time, he was bawling, crying, and this and that, understandable. But at the time, if you would have that emunah shelemah where, okay, he could cry, there's not a problem. But inside, you have to have emunah 100% that this is the best thing that could ever happen. And then later on, wow! But that's all. That's you get rewarded at that time when you have full emunah at that time. Understand? Whatever happens later on, great. I came and worked out, great. That's all a cherry on top. But at that time where you have emunah in Hashem, you're going to get rewarded for having that emunah in Hashem. You get rewarded at that time. When a person says, when a person got a no from another person, people get, no, I don't want to go out with him. You got the no. I don't want to go out with her. You got the no. At that moment, it's an automatic feeling you might have. I feel bad. But if at that moment you feel emunah shelemah, this is the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, you're going to get rewarded in Shamayim for that. You'll get Gan Eden for that. Because you trust in your Father in heaven that this is the best thing that could ever happen to me in my life. You will get Gan Eden for that moment. Yes. Right? You understand? Because this is our beliefs. This is what we believe. This is what is that. Same thing in business. By the way, in business, you get tested all day long. Did the order go through? The order didn't go through. It went in and went through it. Oh yeah, it passed. I met a buyer. I sold him. I didn't sell it. All day long. You're getting rejected. Yes, no. Do you want the sale? You don't want the sale. You want it. You don't want it. You want it. You don't. You're a sales rep. This is all day long. But at the time of rejection, you say, "This is the best thing. I have it now. This is the best thing." And even at the time, what you think people give orders out, and you think every single person in the world pays? Some people send out orders, they don't get their money. And they're texting him, and they're emailing him, and they're doing, and what do you mean? They're emailing him 100 times. Every day he gets an email, pay me. But at the time when you did it, you're like, oh, I made a $100,000 sale. I'm so psyched. $100,000 sale, meanwhile, like the guy's not getting paid. You're like, oh! But that's emunah every single day. I did my ishtadlut. He's not paying me. Okay, I checked him out before I sent him the goods. He was a good guy. I don't know what's going on. That's constant emunah all day long. It's a 24/7 process. It's a 24/7 process in that aspect. 24/7. Boom, 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 boom. Understand? You understand what I'm trying to say? No. Emunah of Havruta. Guys in yeshiva. Guys in the kollel. And we're not to have the best chavruta. Hashem, you're going to set me up, and this, that. What do you think? It's easy? Get the best chavruta in the house? I want the best chavruta. There was one time a child that he would call his mother every time in the beginning of the zman of the yeshiva zman. Call him up. Mom, I'm good now. You can stop praying. So stop praying. What is she praying for you? She prays for me the whole month before yeshiva starts that I should get the best chavruta. Emunah, that you have the best. Get connected with a good rabbi. You know what I'm saying? Pray, Kadosh Baruch Hu, give me emunah shelemah that I should be connected. Good rabbi, good this, good that. You know what I'm trying to say? And now you connect with him. Not every single person that you connect, and not every time you connect, not every type of person. But over here, this is all building your emunah muscle. You're driving, you don't find parking. You know, I'm going for 4 hours. What's going on? Emunah shelemah is the best thing. And then finally find the parking, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I found my parking. Oh, I didn't see my friend in 10 years. How you doing? I missed you. I didn't see you in 5 years, bro. How you doing? Well, and then you realize, oh, it's good. I didn't find the first parking. I found the second parking. But why wait until you find out that, oh, that is the best thing? Do it at that time where you're like, oh man. Do it at that time. Do it at that time. Build an Emunah lesson. Pray for Emunah. Please Hashem, give me the greatest Emunah possible that I could possibly get. You know, Teddy was telling me that he prays, Hashem, give me the highest Emunah level that I could possibly get. That's his prayer. I'm serious. That's what he told me. He said, Rabbi, you know what I pray for? I pray, Hashem, give me the ability to have the highest Emunah in you. There's different levels of Emunah. You know that, right? You have to build Emunah. You have to build Emunah. Not just go stamp a finger, I have Emunah. Yeah, he tells me stories, Teddy, all day long. Boom, I went this, I went that. All day long, he calls me up in the middle of the day, 2 o'clock, Rabbi, I have to tell you a story. Boom, boom, boom. 5-minute story. How did it happen? He's building his Emunah. You have to build Emunah. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Everything needs work. But like that, you do a little. Hazon Ish used to say, you know how you build Emunah you know how you build Emunah? Before you walk into a shoe store, he would say, pray, Hashem, let me find the right shoe. You leave the shoe store. Whether you found the shoe, you didn't find the shoe, say thank you, Hashem. That's just an example. You can apply it every single second of your life. You go into a suit store. You want to buy a suit. You go in, please Hashem, help me find the suit. You went in, you found it, say thank you, Hashem. You didn't find it, say thank you, Hashem. You're building Emunah. You're building Emunah. Understand what I'm saying? You walk into the supermarket. Oh, Rabbi, you plan? No. Walk in the supermarket. Help me find the things that I need quickly. Oh, I need whatever, Cheerios, whatever you need. Boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden you walk in. Right when you walk in, oh, there's a big sale for Cheerios. Oh, that's what I prayed for. Wow. Understand what's going on? Build your Emunah daily.